Okay, so this is where you should have left off. If you are behind, which you shouldn't be, but if you are behind, you have to finish that on your own time. Today we're going to start our lesson on images. So the code that we're going to put in is going to go right here. But first I need to do a little bit of an introduction when I'm talking about images. Okay, so when I say images, I'm talking about pictures. The pictures could be like a cartoon picture, or they could be a photo that you take with your camera or have access to. Now in HTML technically only supports 4 different file types. And pretty much the way they differ is by color available and also file size and compression. But a lot of those details you don't really need to know. So a GIF or GIF, depends on an image file that ends in GIF is limited to 256 colors, and they're pretty much simple images, something more that looks like a cartoon. JPEGs or JPEG files are images or photos that you might take with your phone, and there's like millions of colors available for you to use for a if the file format's in JPEG. A PNG file is similar to a GIF file, so it's a simple image, but what it does differently than the GIF is that it supports transparent images and also millions of colors. We're actually going to probably at some point, these are the kind you're going to want to look for, the fun ones, but you're going to want to look for transparent images. But, that's something you can Google on your own. And then the last one, which is not recommended, is the BMP file. It's pretty large in file size and they don't compress well. A couple other things about images, just generally speaking. Images with large file sizes cause websites to load more slowly. And I'm going to show you in a minute how we can look at stuff like that, like how big is the file. Also, the higher the file compression you set, the lower the image quality will be, and as a result, the file size is decreased. Okay, and finally, images are sized in pixels. This is something we talked about earlier in the course. Pixels stand for pixel element and is the smallest unit found in a digital image. So the dimensions are indicated in pixels length by width. All right, so we're going to do a little demo here. So what I want you to do is I want you to download these 3 files to your computer and download them to your demo website folder. So you're just going to go ahead and take care of that for me. I'm going to do the same thing just so that I can demonstrate that for you. And there's my dog. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my 3 files are downloaded. You can either show all or go right to the folder. I'm going to hit show in folder. I'm going to grab these 3 and I'm going to copy them to the desktop. I don't really care how you do this. Just get them in the folder is the bottom line. Okay, so here's my demo website and I'm putting those right in the folder. Okay, so don't forget you should have your code open for me. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back here and we'll get back to this document in a minute. Excuse me while I close some tabs. Okay, so we're going to go to W3 Schools. Okay, I'm just going to go back to HTML, and I'm going to, like I've been doing, we're going to go to images. So here's the basic code that you use for an image. It's a new tag. It's called IMG. IMG is short for image. There's a source. You have to tell it the name of the file, and this has to be exactly what the name of the file is. This alternate text, this is what words are going to display if the picture is not found. These words are important because for people who are visually impaired, what they have is a tool called a screen reader, and it reads back to them what's on the web page. So when the screen reader comes across an image, it doesn't know what that is. So it relies on the alternate text to tell them what to read back to the visually impaired person. So again, just like yesterday, we had this try it yourself code. Um, we're not going to do this part of it. So let's go back. Let me close that. Let's just steal this code right here. This is just really simple. So do a Control C. And then let's go back to your HTML file. So now we're under images. Okay, so let's paste that code in. Now, if you remember, in our drive, in our folder, let's try to get this all organized. Ooh, desktop. Okay. Before we start playing around with that, I want to show you some things about information about your file. So let's just click on Bailey 1 and let's do a right click. And let's look at the bottom. So, like I was telling you, the dimensions of an image are in pixels. So this image, which does appear to be longer on the height than it does the width. The images are always reported width times height. So that's 240 pixels along the width, 320 pixels along the right. You can also notice the file size in kilobytes. And over here, it tells you it's a JPEG image. All right, and that's going to be important. Now, the name of our file then is capital BAILEY1.jpg. So what we're going to do is, it's in the same folder as the index file. So let's go back and let's type BAILEY1. That should be the name of the file. And as an alternate text, I'm going to put Bailey, and I'll put panda because he's got the panda that he destroyed. Okay, so let's do a save. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes when we work with JPEGs, the first time we try it, it doesn't work. And then we come back and put the E in there for JPEG, and then it works. So let's save that. And I don't care how you get it to open. All I care about is that it opens. So let's do this and let's test it and see what happens. So let's see here. Oh my gosh, look, there's my dog right there. It's amazing. So now I want to show you what happens when you don't do it correctly, because this is an important part of troubleshooting. And you know I'm all about troubleshooting code. Okay, so let's pretend, names of files are case sensitive. So let's just say we're lazy and we typed a lowercase b instead. And let's save that and let's go back to our site and do a refresh. Oh my gosh, it worked. It's not supposed to work. Let's make it something completely panda. I don't know, panda. You shouldn't find the file. All right. So let me go ahead and refresh and show you what happens. So when you mess up the file name, it will put up there the alternate text instead of the image. So this is what I kind of refer to as a broken link, where you type the name of the file wrong. So you should go back and fix it before we move on.